Hey, I am Anthony of Happy with Par here in my basement, aka the Happy with Par headquarters, and I'm lucky to be joined this morning by Maria Oliva. Maria, how are you
Hello,
doing today?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for sparing a couple minutes. So you're
Always.
from Texas, correct?
Yes.
Where are you at today?
I am in Mundelein, Illinois.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
very cold.
cool. Oh, it's very
Yes.
cold here as well.
Yeah.
Got my wood burner going here in the back.
Where are
So
you at right now?
I'm in Maryland.
Oh,
I'm like
okay.
smack dab between Baltimore and Philly. And if I were to use like a disc golf course as reference, I'm like 20 minutes from Iron Hill.
Okay, cool.
So I think a lot of people that are going to be checking this video out already are familiar with you as a golfer. And you're a very exciting and fun golfer to watch. I think
Thank
you
you.
have really cool style on and off the course. And I think that's one of the cool traits that sort of sets you apart, makes you interesting.
Thank you.
So today, try to dig into a little bit of the background workings, what makes Maria tick. So first off, as the season has just wrapped up, my first question for you would be, throughout this off season, what's one non-disc golf related goal that you have for yourself?
Hmm. I think a big one is to get in better shape because I don't
Okay,
think I'm like super out of shape, but I want to get a little more muscle mass, especially up here. I don't have
right on.
a lot of upper arm strength, so
You got to implement like some sort of workout routine then.
yeah, I gotta
Okay.
go full Rocky this off season.
All right. I almost feel like now we need to start talking about like metal or something that'll get you hyped up in the gym. But
Right?
instead, I want to know what's one maybe artist, song, or an album that's been in heavy rotation for you lately?
Honestly, this one's so easy because I kind of go through phases, and right now it's and I might be butchering the name, but it's Hosier.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know if that's how you say it.
Take Me to Church.
Yes,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
yes.
Cool.
But yeah, a few of his albums have been on heavy rotation recently, and that's just been my jam. It's very,
Okay.
very good stuff.
If there was one song that you would tell people to check out from this interview, what would you say?
Oh my gosh, it's hard. I would say, I don't know, Wasteland, baby.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
I'm
good
gonna
one.
check it out then,
It's a
because
good
I
one.
don't
It's
think
a
I
good.
listened to enough Hozier.
Yeah, I actually didn't either. I kind of just listened to, the one that everyone knows, Take Me to Church. And then I kind of circled back around and I was listening. I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, we love this.
And then my final question for you today would be, and this could be anything that you want to pick, but what is something that you just cannot get enough of these days?
Ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. Usually always, but right now I that's all that's on my mind. So
Any specific flavors?
yeah, right now I just discovered a new Ben and Jerry's flavor and it's tiramisu.
Oh, nice.
It's the truth.
That's what's
It's
up.
living rent free in my head.
So
That's all I
I'm
can think
gonna
of.
swing by the food line and try to get one of those little pints of it or something.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's good
All
stuff.
right. Well, thanks for that. Appreciate the kind of quick couple minute check-in with you. And yeah, best of luck on your workout plan. Excited to get bulked up a little bit next season, maybe.
Yeah, that and the ice cream don't really go hand in hand, but we're gonna work that out.
There's got to be some protein in ice cream.
Yeah, it's dairy, right?
Cool. All right. Well, Maria, anything else you want to say?
Just thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And I love what you're doing. I love Happy with Par. I like the concept and I think about it all the time because I am happy with Par a lot of
Dude,
times.
thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I think people kind of get caught up sometimes on the name. They take it at face value and don't realize that par is metaphorical. You know, this is something happy with par is as much for me as it is for anybody else. And it's really become this thing that I'm like applying all over in life. So that makes me feel really good that you said that. I appreciate it.
No, I love it. I really do think about it on the course all the time because obviously, birdie is better than par, but it's not about that. It's more of just like, being okay with what's happening in the current moment, I
Yeah,
feel like is what you're getting at, right?
that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, I mean, when you think that it should have been a birdie, you got to remember that it could have been a bogey.
Exactly, and honestly, I think about that all the time, and it's helped me a lot on the course. So that's why I'm
Dude,
stoked that you thought of me to be on here. So yeah, I'm glad we
sweet.
got to do this.
Awesome. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I'm good to go now. For real. Cool. Thanks,
Good. No, I'm
Maria.
serious though. It's good stuff. I love it.
I appreciate you very much. And I'm going to continue to try and promote these positive vibes and just like I want to be a reminder for fun because that's why I
Yes.
started playing.
Well,
Because it
and I
was
think sometimes you forget it because, I think for us pros too, it's our job now. I think we did it for fun at first, and we have to like maintain the fun aspect of it. Yeah, so
absolutely.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I just did this podcast a couple weeks ago and we got kind of wrapped up or I got kind of wrapped up in the beginning of the podcast because we started talking about how I was introduced to disc golf and I told them that I was introduced and this is my story, right? It's like I was introduced to disc golf by a bunch of my friends who had already been playing for a long time. And my friend group is like pretty naturally competitive. So starting out right away, like I got pretty competitive and it sucked the fun out of it for
It
me.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, when I started playing, yeah, I was trying to compete with like all the grown-ups around me, and I was like a kid, and it just didn't quite work out. And it was like, yeah, this is no fun. But yeah, it's like finding that perfect balance of, competitiveness with yourself or others, however you want to do that.
Yeah.
For me, it's always with myself because
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
care about beating people. But yeah, so it's about that balance of competitive and fun because both of those things are good, but finding that balance is the hard part, I think.
So I didn't expect to go this long, and I'm still recording, so I'm just gonna keep talking if you're cool with it.
Hey, I'm
So
not doing
then off
anything.
of that, let me ask you kind of about you just had a pretty big win at New Worlds. Like that was awesome. That was so cool to watch. Um,
Thank you.
this past year I bought my subscription to Disc Golf Network. Um,
Nice.
just because like I'm working at home now and during the day sometimes I could pop up like FPO coverage and
Yeah.
I had a blast like following along with you and so many
Thank
other
you.
players. Seriously, I remember so I'm gonna talk about New World in a second, but is it New Worlds or New World?
New World Championship.
Okay, New World
Yeah.
Championship. I can't remember exactly when this was, and maybe you don't even want to talk about it, but I remember a little bit earlier in the season, you were top, you might have been in first place for a round or two. I think you ended up taking maybe like third or fourth.
Yeah,
Uh,
US Women's.
maybe that's what it was. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You know, I can
No,
only
that's just what's come into mind. That's what you're describing.
right on. So, and I swear, I mean, who else? I don't even remember who else was on the card at the time. But anyway, you fear like the fiercest competition in the sport like ever is right now. And so I was just gonna ask, like, coming from a tournament like that where you're playing really well in the beginning of the tournament, you have a little something, a little slip up or something, and now you need to maintain this kind of positive headspace or maybe salvage some like positivity to kind of like keep pushing on
Yes.
compared to New World, where you were you kind of were top dog. You were in the top like the whole tournament. Can
I,
you talk about a little bit? Am I incorrect there?
no, no, keep going, keep going.
Okay. I was just gonna say, can you talk a little bit about because I do love chatting about the mental health stuff.
Yeah,
Um, about some like mental cues that you use maybe in a round where it's like you had really high hopes and you're still in the top, right? But personally, I know like when I if I'm in first place, that's where I want to stay.
right.
And even to drop down to second or third, like in that moment for you personally, like it could be kind of tough. Um, can you just talk about like some of your, I don't know, I guess like mental game?
No, for sure. It's funny you mentioned those two because they're very similar but like totally different because I remember going into US Women's and I don't remember if it was after the first round or after this. I think it must have been after or before that first round that I was like kind of like going into it like, okay, take this very seriously. Cause like this whole entire first season, I was trying to figure out like how how to play my best disc golf, like what mindset I had to be in to be
Right.
my best on the course. Cause like I said, I'm kind of a nutcase. Or I guess I haven't said it, but yeah, I'm a little bit of a nutcase. Like, I struggle with focus. And so on the course, obviously, if you're not focused, that's when you mess up. So
Yeah.
I struggle with that. Until this entire year, I was just kind of trying to find like the perfect formula of like what to think about, like what to do before the round, all of that. And US Women's was the first one where I was like, okay, it's okay to be like yourself on the course, which is like fairly silent, because that's what it takes for me to be focused. Like if I'm very chatty, if I'm like, worried about all sorts of things. Like it's fun. Like we
Yep.
said, it's like that balance, but it takes away from me being able to perform my best.
Right.
And so I told myself, like, okay, it's okay to not be super bubbly and whatever this tournament. Just focus on disc golf and then you can chit chat after the round, right? And so I did that, worked out great,
Yeah.
obviously, right? But yeah, that last round I did drop down to fourth, which obviously I told myself that tournament I really wanted to win, and I did, obviously. But it wasn't my time. And I think I've told myself a lot this year because I've been very close to playing like really well this year a bunch of times, but
Yeah.
I haven't quite there's always something that happens and I just lose confidence and just you know, but yeah, I always told myself like, it's just not your time. Your time's gonna come. And I truly believed it. And then yeah, New World came around and yeah, I wasn't that one was weird because I didn't go to that tournament like, yeah, we're gonna win this last tournament. Let's go. Like, no, it was very much just, yeah, I guess I'll play this last one, start my season up, get some points. I'll
Yeah.
get third, let's do it. And then yeah, I just put myself in position. And that's the thing, like I think when I'm in position, that like competitive drive gets turned on a little bit. It's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, I can do this. Okay, sure, let's try even harder now. But yeah, at first I was just kind of there, like, you
Yeah.
know, hoping to make some putts in, you know.
Excited to be in like some nice Florida weather.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Um, but yeah, two very weird tournaments, but like mentally very like memorable.
Yeah.
Because I that's something I like focus on a lot is the mental side of it because I think disc golf is like 80% mental like tournament disc golf.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It
disc
really
golf is
is.
easy. Like, I can just go out there and make a 30 footer no problem, but a 30 footer for thousands of dollars, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's pretty hard,
No doubt. I think the competition can get to anybody especially if you have like the slightest bit of that kind of like head case thing that we're sort of talking about a little bit.
Yeah,
Even like it happens to me, I play C tiers and then it's over and I'm like, why was I pissed again? Because
right,
in that moment, I think it's too, it's like, you can make that 30-foot putt, but now you've just put all this pressure on your shoulders.
right.
The other thing I was gonna say that I thought was cool, you talking about waiting for your moment or like knowing
Yeah.
that your moment was coming, is I think it's kind of like stoic and kind of badass. And it's really hard for somebody that has like a lot of ambition too, because it's like, well, I don't want to wait for my time.
Because it sucks, right? It
Yeah.
sucks, like realizing, man, I know I really want this right now, but I can't have it right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that's very relevant for me, especially like in my last couple. I just played a couple tournaments and it's just funny how it comes in waves. And like you said, when it's not competitive or when you just don't have as much of that competitive mindset, it's like muscle memory takes over. And then you start letting all of this white noise kind of jumble your focus. And yeah, it gets tough.
Well, yeah, because like I mean, like Luke and I were talking about it like the other day. I think like it's because it's all about the mindset. Like your diet can change every day, your routine changes every day. Like you never know what the day is gonna throw at you, and especially on tour, like there's so many things that change and so many variables like that go on throughout your week that you really like no day is ever the same. And so it really all comes down to your mindset as soon as you step on the course. Like there's been so many times where I wake up and I really have negative like will to play that day. Like I'm like I really I'm like dragging myself to the course. And then I get on there, I'm like, okay, no, it's time to work, you know? And then I have like this fire around. And sometimes I'm like super ready to go and then, I play great. But
Yeah.
sometimes I do both either of those and it's
Yeah.
terrible, right? So it's just, you just kind of have to take the day as it comes, I feel like.
Was this past year your first year full time on tour?
Yeah.
So you have your own van now
Yes.
and you drive it alone, you travel alone mostly.
Yeah.
So aside from your cat Volcom,
Yes, and but he was new. I got him like right before USDGC, which was one of the last events of the year. So
right on. So had you ever done any sort of like long distance driving like that before you started touring? And then like how does that take a toll out of you? Because like I know if I gotta drive like 2 hours, sometimes I get like butt and leg pains, and I'm like just like being whiny about it, and I don't have to play competitive round. So
right.
what's that like being on the road traveling? Are you getting used to it? And then also, because I noticed that the cat thing on tour is kind of like a vibe now. There's like quite a few players with cats on tour. I'm a
Yeah.
huge cat fan. Um, but I
Yeah.
cannot imagine taking them like camping or something with me. So what's that like? What's the road life full time like? And then now that you have a buddy on tour with you or in the van with you, what's that like?
Oh man, it's so fun.
I
But
know.
okay, so first, the driving thing. Yeah, I before I went on tour, I'd done some driving when nothing crazy. The longest drive I'd ever done before with someone else was a 32-hour drive to Oregon. Because when I graduated from high school, I like walked the stage, got off, and then literally drove to Oregon
Nice.
to play BSF for the first time, I think, and that was great. But yeah, after that, really nothing. And now really, I'm honestly, I love the road life. It does get a little lonely, but yeah, the cat helped with that. That's really what he was. I was like, okay, I need a touring buddy who wants to do this. And yeah, I went to go look for Volcom and he is perfect. Like I was honestly a little nervous because it was kind of like a I don't know, I didn't think it through too much. And it's very unlike me to do that, but I just kind of I don't know, it was just the thing. But he's perfect. Yeah, he like got accustomed to it super fast, like no accidents. He hasn't destroyed he killed all my plants. They're dead. They're dead. And
I was gonna
I
say
don't
the cat's definitely destroying something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was like, wait, hold on, I'm missing something. Yeah, no, he definitely massacred every single one of my plants, that I worked so hard all year to keep alive, but it's fine. Um, but yeah, he's great and he likes driving. Like, he learned pretty fast to not like be too like on the dash or like up front. So he just sleeps every time I drive. He just sleeps on the passenger seat or up top and I don't see him
Pretty
until I
chill.
stop again. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
that's pretty chill.
He's a good boy.
Cool. Well, I also think that's pretty cool of you to kind of jump full time into independent touring life. Like that's kind of scary, but
It
obviously
is.
you have dreams and aspirations for this sport. You proved it this year. I said I wasn't going to ask disc golf related questions, and then we sort of got into it.
I
But I
mean,
think it's
technically it's life questions for me, you know.
right. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think I'm good here. I'm happy.
Cool.
It was great
Great.
chatting with you. I appreciate your time once again, and best of luck in the off season with your goals, and then look forward to watching you play in 2023.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. I'm stoked we got to do this. And yeah, sorry, I was a little hard to get a hold of.
No
I've been
worries.
all over the place.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Maria.
Bye. Have a good one.